Hello, thanks for tuning in. I'm so happy that you found this philosophical breakdown of my yoga class this week. If you're following along with my videos or the blog, please be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube, and the link is in the bio for the blog. You can go there and subscribe to my mailing list as well, so you don't miss any videos like this or any classes, and you'll get access to exclusive content, the actual physical breakdown of the class. Again, this video I'm going to be discussing the kind of philosophical side of it and the interpretive movement that comes from the story. So in this week's parsha Vayigash, Judah pleads to exchange places with Benjamin as Joseph's prisoner. This was both out of loyalty and also concern for their father's ability to cope with the loss of another son, the first son being Joseph, 9 years earlier. So Joseph is so touched by their growth and uprightness that he reveals his identity to them, and remedies their shame, because the brothers are so embarrassed. They didn't recognize their own brother. They're coming face to face with Joseph after selling him into slavery years earlier. And this is actually a really interesting concept, that he's just not angry with them. I mean, it's in line with Joseph's character, but so he assures them that this was all part of God's plan to save them all from the famine. God sent Joseph down to interpret the Pharaoh's dreams and remedy the situation, these years of famine. So the brothers bring Jacob and their families from Canaan, and that's 70 people in total. They settle in Goshen, where they prosper in this Egyptian exile. So isn't that just great? The gang is all reunited, they're together, and Joseph holds no hate in his heart for his family and takes care of them. So Joseph only divulged his identity once Judah stood up to them with such confidence and chutzpah in his loyalty to Benjamin. He calls himself his brother's keeper. So we've seen that phrase earlier in the book of Genesis when Cain kills his brother, and he basically just says, I don't know where he is. Am I my brother's keeper? So this moment between Joseph and Judah shows growth towards a more upstanding and moral society throughout, the stories in this book. So have you ever met someone who acts like they truly can do no wrong? They can't admit any faults. They're always looking for someone else to blame when things don't go right. Those types of people are not even able to handle constructive criticism at times. And as sad as it is, those people can't be helped until they get out of that mentality. They often get left out, left behind. People lose respect for them, and eventually those sour souls are forgotten. So when an individual or community is able to assume responsibility, this actually breaks through a spiritual barrier that could possibly be repressing liberty. And on the other side of this barrier, and it is an environment where you'll be acknowledged, respected in an elevated way. This is kind of what happens when Judah accepts this responsibility and shows that he's changed. And on a grander scale, shows how the whole population has changed throughout all of these stories in this book. So when you develop the courage to place your ego aside, you no longer have to live in defense. You don't always have to, be building yourself up and denying criticism and any wrongdoings that you may have done. There will be a newfound strength to move through life with moral uprightness and greater spiritual posture. So that's why I focus this class this week on building strength with good posture. Again, you have to subscribe to see the explanation of how the movements in this class build our strength and posture. But I'll discuss the spiritual breakdown right now. So in the reset, we're prepping the body for fascial freedom and mobility with greater posture, with all sorts of movements, freeing the neck and moving mobility at the hip. And in Sun 1A and B, we have all sorts of stretching, looking down and under, and movement crawling and walking. And this is to represent Joseph revealing himself to his brothers, like showing himself, and then also them journeying back to Canaan and then coming back. So that's kind of like the walking and crawling movements. And in the main flow, there's a lot of hard work this week. You don't build strength without hard work. So that represents like the hard work that the brothers had to go through to change who they are, build that moral uprightness and the struggle that they have. And to accept the humility of facing their brother after doing something so wrong to them. And then at the very end, we hold a Sphinx posture. And I mainly threw that in just because they're now in Egypt. And what's in Egypt but the Sphinxes and pyramids and whatnot. So, but I thought the Sphinx was something good to throw in to kind of just like cool down after all of that. And it's like a fascial stretch down the whole front body while still maintaining that like elongated posture and allowing our like neck to go down and be free. So yeah, then obviously Shavasana, we just absorb the benefits of the practice. It's more of a physical thing. And yeah, that's all. So thanks so much for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and again, visit the blog to see a transcript of this. And there's more good stuff there. You can subscribe for exclusive content. I've got a podcast. And yeah, so thanks so much. I'll see you next week. Shabbat Shalom and Merry Christmas. So thanks again. Bye.